Welcome to our video guide on setting up Identity-Aware Proxy for SSH in Google Cloud Platform. Today we'll explore a clever way to keep your virtual machines, VMs, private while still allowing secure access through SSH. This method is perfect for connecting from your personal computer or workstation. Let's start by understanding the problem we're solving. Imagine you have a compute engine instance, that's Google's term for a virtual machine. You need to access this VM using SSH for tasks like maintenance or software installation. Traditionally, you'd need a public IP address for this, which can be risky as it exposes your VM to the internet. This is a common challenge across cloud platforms. Even if you're familiar with other services like AWS, you'd face the same issue of not wanting to expose your VM to the public internet. That's where Google Cloud Platform, GCP, offers a smooth solution called Identity Aware Proxy, or IAP for short. IAP acts as a secure middleman. It lets you connect to a private VM through SSH using standard IAM, identity and access management permissions. This means you can keep your VM private and still access it securely. To demonstrate this concept clearly, we'll set up a new VM from scratch. We'll also create a new virtual private cloud VPC network instead of using the default one. This will help us understand the process better. First, we need to enable the Compute Engine API in our project. This is necessary because we're starting with a brand new project. Next, we'll create a new VPC network. We'll call it Demonstration for this example. When setting up the VPC, we'll choose a custom subnet creation instead of automatic. We'll create just one subnet using the IP range that Google suggests. For simplicity, we won't add any firewall rules to this VPC yet. We want to start with a clean slate to better understand how IAP works. Now, let's create our VM. We'll go to the VMs page and start the creation process. In the network settings, we'll choose our new demonstration network instead of the default one. Importantly, we'll turn off the public IP option. This means our VM won't have any public internet access at all. After creating the VM, if we try to use the SSH right away, it won't work. Let's prove this by trying to connect using the Google Cloud CLI command line interface. We'll use a compute SSH command, which should use IAP to connect. But it fails. Even if we specify the correct zone, the connection will time out. We can also try the SSH in-browser feature, which uses the IAP, but that won't work either. We'll get an error message saying the connection was closed. Don't worry though, we're going to fix this step by step. Once we're done, we'll be able to use the IAP as a secure tunnel to access our VM via SSH. It's like creating a private underground passage to our VM. Now that we've seen our SSH attempts fail, let's fix the problem. The key to making this work lies in setting up the right firewall rules. So let's navigate to the firewall settings in our VPC network. When we look at the firewall rules, we'll notice something interesting. All the existing rules are for the default network, but we don't have any rules for our new custom network where our VM lives. This is why we couldn't connect earlier. Let's create a new firewall rule specifically for identity-aware proxy SSH traffic. We'll call this rule Allow IAP SSH. When setting up this rule, we want to use a specific target tag. This tag will help us control which VMs can be accessed through IAP. Let's use IAP SSH server as our target tag. Now, here's a crucial part, the source IP range. This is where we need to be very careful and consult the Google Cloud documentation. IAP is a managed service, which means Google controls the IP addresses it uses. We need to tell our firewall which IP ranges the IAP system uses. According to the documentation, all connections from the IAP system come from a specific IP range. For SSH over TCP forwarding, the range is right here. We need to use this as our source range in the firewall rule. This essentially creates a bridge between the IAP system and our VM. Let's also limit the ports in our firewall rule. We only need to allow TCP port 22, which is the standard port for SSH. Now that we've created this firewall rule, we need to apply the IAP SSH server tag to our VM. This tells the firewall that this particular VM should be accessible via IAP. You could allow all VMs in the network to be accessed this way, but for this demo, we'll keep it specific to just one VM. Let's go back to our VM settings and add this network tag. We'll click on Edit, then add the IAP SSH server tag. A great thing about Google Cloud is that we don't need to restart the VM for this change to take effect. This saves us time and avoids any service interruptions. After making these changes, our VM still only has an internal IP address. But now we've created a secure bridge through our firewall rule that works with the network tag on our Compute Engine instance. It's time to test if our setup works. Let's try to SSH into our VM using the Google Cloud Shell command again. Success! We're now connected to the instance we created earlier. We can also try the SSH in-browser feature again. This feature also uses the identity-aware proxy mechanism. What controls our access here is our Google Cloud authentication. The system checks if our logged-in user has the right permissions for this VM and this project to allow the SSH connection. And look at that, it works. We now have secure SSH access to our private VM, even though it doesn't have a public IP address. This is the power of identity-aware proxy. As usual, we'll include the demonstration diagram file in the video description. If you'd like to help support the channel, try a free trial of our new design tool linked in the description and let us know what you think. Thanks so much for watching until the end, and please enjoy responsibly.